interesting presentations, but so crazy. And this year he became more mature. I love him nonetheless. Now I would like to invite another person from Positive Technologies, an architect of strategic projects for information security at Positive Technologies, Alexey Yegorov. Alexey, welcome to the stage. Just look at the people who we have at Positive Technologies. So handsome, absolutely amazing. And what we can say, our expert will tell how you should take the next step on the career stairs and not lose both in online and offline so that you can have a mix of social and career lives. Thank you. Hi, everyone. Who's glad that we finally have summer here in Moscow, that finally it is hot? Because in April we had this demo version of summer, and then we had snow during the April and May months. So my name is Alexey. I'm architect of strategic projects for information security at Positive Technologies. But I'm not going to be talking about Positive Technologies, information security. I'll be talking about soft skills. I've been working in IT and information security, all that soup of words. I've been here for about 8 years. I'm not sure if that's a lot or not, but I've been able to learn more about different people. I've created a number of interesting contacts. And this presentation is the synergies, the point of all that experience. I talked to different guys and girls, asked them different questions on what helps them to grow as an expert in terms of soft skills. Today we have an absolutely amazing athletic arena, sports arena, Luzhniki, and besides being very suitable for technical events like our festival, I've seen and heard absolutely amazing athletic events. In 2008, there was a battle between English Premier League teams for the final of Champions League. In 2018, Russia versus Spain, the Akinfeev's leg, where he deflected the penalty right at the end of the game, and it was absolutely amazing feat for the Russian sports, where Russian team finally got to the quarterfinal for the first time. And I decided to have this analogy with football. I love football, I play football, I watch football, and I would like to talk about football. So who might find this presentation interesting? People who only start their life in IT technology, IT industry, people who are starting to delve into our industry. And this presentation will give you some basic understanding on what kind of soft skills you need and what kind of roadmap you might have in order to grow as an expert. For more like adults, maybe elderly people already, people who still have fire inside of them, you might learn and maybe reprioritize some skills you already have. And finally, for leaders, for team leads, for managers, so that you could have a list of requirements for your candidates and build a specific educational process so that the team functions so much better. In our club called the Planet Earth, we have so many different top clubs, football clubs. There are international grants, there are top FC clubs in different countries. Two of them will have a battle on the 31st of May. It will be the Cup of Russia game. But still we have even more football club at the amateur level. In total, football is played by more than 250 million people. Have you ever asked what helps football player to develop both as an athlete in terms of skills and technique and dribbling and passing and shooting and running, but what helps them develop as a personality and not to lose motivation over the years, maybe to go through the years for 10 years, for 20 years. Footballer's life is not just playing on the pitch. It's medical examinations, it's lots of training, some events. Some footballers maybe turned 18 and they still live at the football camp. Some people have families, some people have friends. How do coaches, how do teams, how do football clubs can manage all those problems, all those diverse people from different backgrounds, and how can they put together them as a team and get real substantial results? In IT, we have so many companies. We have top-level companies. We have international grants. We have companies that are valued at the internal domestic market, at the international market. In general, we have about 1 million IT specialists in Russia. And just like in football club, there are top-level companies, there are middle-level companies, and there are quite a lot of companies where there is an IT department, and depending on the quality of work of that IT department, depends the work of the whole company. The skills I will be talking about will be required for an expert of any level, and if you have them, you will be able to transfer to a higher level company. So if you basic terminology, what are soft skills and what are hard skills? We have different human skills, and one of them are hard skills. Hard skills are easy to say, easy to check. So, for example, do you know a programming language or not? If you know, you have this hard skill. Maybe you've learned Cisco, maybe you've learned Python, maybe you work at networks at the beginner level. But soft skills are tricky. Soft skills are useful skills that more about your personality, more about your character. And it's really hard to test them. And sometimes it's even impossible to see if somebody goes through an experiment, a test. Soft skills are what helps in any profession, whatever you do. There are at least 4 areas of soft skills: communication, self-organization, creativity, and stress, and ability to work under stress. So how do footballers, how do IT experts get to their respective industries? How do they get into football? How do they get to IT? Obviously, we have scouts. There are IT recruiters, and many thanks to them. But football scouts have an advantage compared to HR departments and HR recruiters, because football scouts can watch the games of other teams. Usually they are tasked by the coach or the coach team, go and look for younger talents. They go to different matches to analyze statistics, they read mass media reports, and based on this information, they select younger boys and girls to their clubs. Obviously, IT recruiters cannot do this. They cannot just go to a different company and watch how their IT department works. So IT recruiter can only see a CV from a person. And in order to have a better view of a candidate so that the candidate can actually explain what they do, HR recruiters have to understand what they do for their department and what they do for the company as a whole. This makes it possible to position yourself, for your team, for your company at the market, and this is very important. Obviously, scouts and recruiters consider a player or a candidate not only based on their hard skills, skills they have right here, right now, but also for potential future skills. So we have to understand what is my final goal, where do I want to end up, what do I want to reach. That's why we have 3 main areas: experience, knowledge, money.
трех направлениях просто невозможно.
Still, in each of these areas, it is impossible to go in all of them at the same time because it's just impossible. If you need experience, then it will probably result that you will stagnate in the same position, getting the same money. If you care about knowledge, you will sacrifice experience and probably money. And if you care about money, you will not get practical experience. And that is why it is important to understand what's your personal goal right here, right now, and what's my goal in the immediate future. And sure, you need to have some strategic plan, maybe a year, 2, 5 years.
Нет чего-то такого сложного и
It is not rocket science, it's quite normal.
Позволяю.
And many companies allow this to do. They help you create your own roadmap.
И много полезного здесь приносит networking.
And a great contribution is done through networking, where you can talk to other people, to communicate with other experts
Отраслей.
from your company, from your industry, maybe adjacent industry. You increase
И так далее.
your
Естественно, посещение профильных
well,
мероприятий.
people start to respect you more, you improve your reputation, you visit different events. And it is important to know
Чтобы быть в тренде.
the language of the industry so that you stay relevant.
Погоне за
But
знаниями,
here's the vicious circle. When you try to get money, experience,
привести к синдрому
knowledge,
самозванца.
at some
Когда
point you might reach the
там в одной
the point where you just do not believe in yourself, when you think that
здесь требуют знаний,
you can work for
на
a rate way below market.
и так далее. А здесь требуют опыт,
And in different place, they want both
какой технологии.
a lot of experience and a lot of knowledge, but they will not pay you any money.
Как для себя
And in other place, they will pay a lot of money, but you will not get any experience and you will not get anything else. So where to go, what to choose, and
невозможно.
you have to understand that
Любая компания
the basic,
рассматривает
the norm is to study all the time, every day. Any company considers a candidate for potential future.
и так далее.
There is usually
От
onboarding process for people to get used to this, and nobody asks experts, specialists, future experts, to know all the Linux commands when they only start. When you ask questions, it's not being ignorant, it's actually wanting to become better. And there are different onboarding processes in companies so that they can actually ask those questions and they will not make the stupid mistakes. It's better to ask a stupid question rather than make a stupid mistake.
современные технологии,
And finally,
человеческий мозг сейчас
new technologies do not replace human brains. Probably people are used to different
когда
AI assistants, co-pilots, where any question you can upload to AI, you get an immediate answer. But what's interesting, that answer is not necessarily correct. I've been trying to prepare to a different presentation, and I had to look for a football club
но при этом
that ranked
отрицательно
in the top level, but they had negative
нейросеть не выдала правильный ответ.
scored versus conceded goals. And not a single AI gave me the correct answer. I had to go through tens of tables of the English Championship, of the UK Championship, before I was able to find the answer.
У меня
And here's the personal story. When I got to IT, my previous work
выполнять только
was that I could do this only when I was at work. So when I leave the job place at 6 p.m. and everything was there,
ну, естественно,
I went home with a fresh head, with absolutely empty head, and I went back to the job place at 9 a.m. in the morning. And this is when I started to think about this. Once I moved to IT, I had so many problems to tackle, new projects, new people, different conferences. And at some point, I started to dream about job.
ложусь спать.
One day on Sunday, I go to sleep and I have a dream that I'm solving some problems. I'm trying to persuade something. I try to support and protect my opinion. I have different projects, and I wake up and I understand it was a dream and it's Monday. and I'm so tired. And I think, wow,
как я смогу работать.
what am I supposed to do? How should I work? I'm so tired. I did not have enough sleep. Nothing worked.
Воздушных мыслей перед сном не
It did not help to let the fresh air in. It did not help to read before sleep.
мозг. Это
And that's why I needed the second brain.
лайфхак, и
That's a great life hack I can share with you. And the most valuable piece of advice is to have a dedicated list of tasks and problems, a single calendar for different events that you always have at hand and which is synced with multiple devices. And this second brain
задачи,
has to have very simple and easy to understand problems which you can start solving immediately with very clear priorities.
не опрашивать
And you have to trust the second brain. You cannot just ask it again and again,
записал и так далее. Важно
did you put it down? Do I have it written or not? You have to build this process and then trust it.
такие времена. Помните, когда
Do you remember the COVID times
когда
when we had remote work where you could
3 минуты до
get up and become ready for the morning sync call just 3 minutes before it started and you start working?
сильно
So during the COVID times,
дисциплину?
discipline suffered a lot.
Каждый из вас там видел какие-нибудь нарезки,
Probably everyone
где идет
seen those funny videos
там
where there is a video conference and somebody
кто-то там
is
на маникюрчик,
drinking cocktail while lying on the beach, or maybe they are polishing their nails.
да, ну,
The work and discipline and personal discipline suffers a lot. Well, usually there are two types of discipline, but the work and discipline is the discipline that is recommended by the company. That's the
это
when you work from maybe 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. Those are deadlines, those are specific processes and corporate culture, obviously.
в ну, такие, в принципе, базовые рекомендации, там, не успел,
There are some basic recommendations.
знаешь, расскажи,
Maybe if you cannot do this in time, you have to tell in advance, you have to ask stupid questions, and you have to do your work. But it's a little bit different with personal
на удаленочке,
discipline, especially when you work alone, when you work remotely, at home. Those recommendations are to have
и желательно, чтобы это рабочее место
good
было в какой-то вынесенном
ergonomical workplace, and it should be different from your other environment, and it should not be in the same room with where you sleep.
когда-то давно.
And you also have to maintain the time frame so that you have to start at a certain point in time and then you end at a certain point in time. Discipline is not when you go to work. Discipline is also when you leave the work at the right time. And finally, the work-life balance or life-work balance. You have to pay attention both to the job you do and to your personal life. And obviously, I invest in procrastination and watching YouTube videos and memes.
Общие интересы — это
Humor
что
and general interest is what keeps me afloat, and it helps me build effective communication.
Давно-давно
One time,
было собеседование, когда
years ago, I had an interview, and when I shared the PDP meme, and I did not have to answer any network questions at all, so I just shared a funny story on the topic. When we are
говорят статус по проекту.
sharing
Общие интересы,
memes, you just
и
increase and improve onboarding, you improve communication,
поэтому
and you decrease the number of conflicts.
общение, неформальное общение — это
So informal communication using memes
тебя никаких
is something which helps you feel
программистам.
like you're not a robot, you're not a screw in a big machine, you are a person, you are a human being.
Да, вот. А,
So I mentioned communication.
это
And effective communication is
важный и
probably the most important, but at the same time, the most complex part of soft skills.
коммуникации,
Because you have to improve
инженер
effective communication skills, but it's very hard to do. When we're talking about engineers, especially IT engineers, these are the people who are ready, who are efficient, who want to solve a very specific problem connected with PCs, with personal computers.
Робот, который там
But humans are not just robots who can ask ChatGPT to solve a problem. Humans are different, and when you have ChatGPT,
в командах
you can
снижать уровень токсичности,
increase the speed, how fast problems are solved in your company. You can decrease the level of toxicity, and you can save time and resources.
собственно, все те софт-скиллы, про которые я рассказал,
As a result, I put here all the soft skills I mentioned before. And if you've heard
про лучшего друга,
about this presentation, I mentioned my best friend
получается. Вот,
who actually can do this, whatever I wanted to do. The best friend is
разделить,
anyone who
идти на помощь.
are ready to share both grief and happiness.
Лучшим другом может быть жена,
The best friend can be your wife, can be your husband, can be your girlfriend, boyfriend, can be your relative.
лучшим
And obviously, your best friend can be your best friend, even though that sounds a little bit different.
перечисленных
Still,
не является
none of the people above
чем
cannot be a friend better than yourself.
таких полезных
You have to be your own best friend.
материалов,
There will not be
ваша мотивация и желание.
valuable material for this presentation. Your own motivation and you yourself should be the value, and
И
do not become an AI bot. Improve your social skills and become better. Alexei, thank you very much, and I'm so glad that when I talk to my imaginary friends and they say you should talk to this person because we have a few minutes to spare. We have people from IT industry, people from adjacent industry for the last 15, 20 years. I've never listened to this kind of presentation that so in line with what I do, communication, soft skill. Why do you think Alexei is so handsome? Because he is into fitness, because he is into funny means. For example, I'm 64, but I look good. I'm not toxic. I practice effective communication, and we have almost the same trousers. That is the main reason why I look so young. Everything you've said, Alexei, and we can say I've been around Russia and I visited Caucasus, and usually the best way to go about this is you do it the correct way, it will be the correct way. And we love all those soft skills quotes. You will be accepted to a company even if you are not exactly an expert, but if people can work with you. Even Navy SEALs will pick a team member over or ego sniper because they are a team, we are social animals. And even they say that discipline is freedom. Even they say that discipline is freedom. I'm 64. I've believed a lot. I listened a lot. So discipline is the freedom. Just think about it. And I think that's a genius idea. If you reach to the level where with discipline it's so much easier to do whatever you want. If you are late, you just say it in advance. If you do not understand, you ask the question. You are just a normal person, you're just a normal being. And if you do your job the right way, it will result in the correct output. And I think that that's the way we should do. Alexei Yegorov is not like me, he's not just a talking box. He is actually an architect of strategic projects on information security. He has an actual job. And this is the person who talked about positive soft skills. And he has a wife. What a wonderful, what a lucky woman. Thank you very much.